Hello and welcome to Lunch Therapy. I am, of course, Joe Fury, coming to you from high in the Himalayas, where I am studying the ancient art of meditation and transcendence. And I've come to introduce this show today because the show is very special. It is a convergence of a show called Getting Mental and, of course, Lunch Therapy. Getting Mental is a show, it is a fairly new program that is hosted by the great Brenda, Sarai, Zuniga. She will be here today, live, to entertain you all and inspire and uplift. But before that, I have something that I have to tell you about. You know my product, Crepe Erase? Crepe Erase?
Ah, I'm here.
It is something that makes the skin invisible. If you have crepe skin, it makes it invisible. Well, one of our roving reporters, Jay Patterson, has decided to investigate. She has made her own investigation into crepey skin. Let's see what she has to say.
Hey, Joel. This is your roving reporter. This is an important one because I have begun my crepe erase system. I am on day 2. Now, I was just putting it on my calves, but my husband informed me as he helped me with my shower because of broken arm that I have crepe all over my body. Oh. So I have covered myself with crepe erase, and I hope that I just don't totally disappear. I'm just updating you. My husband is going to no, Denny, you're supposed to just hold the bottle. I'm just going to have Denny hold, because I can't hold it. Okay, this is my brand.
But that's not crepe erase.
Come on, everybody. Okay, my
what is that?
No, you got
Gold Bond.
Okay, we're
Gold Bond. That's for the. I don't know. That's for the crotch or something. That's not crepe erase.
Or am I backwards?
Okay, it's diabolical.
Anyway,
Jay has become diabolical. I don't know what's going on with her.
That's what I'm using because it's only $8.99.
Oh my God!
A bottle.
Yes, you get what you pay for, Jay.
Crepe erase is $7.99, and since this is a volunteer,
crepe erase is my crepe erase. Oh, that's a different crepe erase. My crepe erase is $300.
It's happening now, and I just Just wish the best. I really want good results. Now, I can't use it on my face, so don't be judging my face. Okay. So listen, Joel, this is Jay, 10-4 and out.
I'm gonna get myself a modem. 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 I'm gonna get myself a modem.
Hey everybody. It's so good to be here. I'm so excited. I've got Brenda here. She's going to be lighting up the lunch therapy stage. Todd Lee says he loves the tingle from Nice Gold Bond powdering. Yes, I don't know why she's using Gold Bond. I don't know what's going on with that. Joe's going to be very upset. I also found out that perhaps there is already a product called Crepe Erase, so I don't know what's going to happen to Joe Fury's product. I mean, they might have to rename it or do some branding. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, we're here, and we are here to breathe, and let's get some nice calming music on because we have to. I have behind me this woman who is meditating in the rain, which I think is splendid. Because here in Los Angeles, we got some rain yesterday, which was crazy. There was thunder. It was wonderful. We might actually, get some water. I doubt that, but we need Crepe Erase or get sued. I think Crepe Erase has to be renamed. Okay, let's breathe. Let's breathe and let's get on with the show, alrighty? All right, in through the nose, out through the toes. Where is that woman? That's a good question. She's at her pool, I guess, outside of her house. Let it go. Looks like India to me. Look at that house there. Look at that cool tree over there. I don't know. Let's try and guess it. Rain vibes. Brenda is in the green room with Boney. I can hear them in there. It must be warm rain. Yes. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Everybody has to breathe. Everybody has to breathe. Let it go. What was the deal with the delay in the Monday night game at SoFi Stadium that has a roof? I know. Yesterday there was a game at SoFi Stadium. It was the Raiders and the Chargers, and they delayed it because of thunder. Overly cautious, perhaps. I think so. In through the nose, out through the toes. One more. Hold it. Let it go. I would like to be there with that lady sitting on that ledge there, breathing. Apparently lightning could get into the slots that are open to the air. That's it. That's it. Okay, let's get on with the show. What are we doing today? I got my giraffe here. I got Brenda in the chat, or in the green room. I got the chat room in the chat room, talking about the $5 billion stadium. We talk about all kinds of things on the show. Nothing is out of bounds except for things that are depressing and things that are overly political and divisive, and none of that stuff's welcome here. Or at least we don't like it. Great Popeye shirt. Yes, holy. That's Popeye. He's a DJ. I don't have my t-shirt cam today, but anyways, it's pretty cool. Holy, everybody. It's great to see everybody. I'm going to jump right in here. I got Brenda here. Brenda came to me through Chuck Goldsmith, so thank you very much, Chuck. She's a comedian. She's a musician. She is a keynote speaker. She's going to fall perfectly in line with the whole lunch therapy vibe. Neither of us are licensed therapists, I don't think. I'll have to ask her. I'm an actor and a comedian. She's a comedian. And this is a show here to have everybody take a break from the crap. And Brenda has a very unique story that she's going to bring today here on the show. And I'm totally just going to show you her rapping to start. So here we go. This is Brenda rapping.
My name is Brenda Z. I have ADHD. My brain is complicated, constantly needs to be stimulated, interrupting conversations until somebody says, chill. Brenda, chill. What? But I can't stop. I can't stop. I'm trying. Stop. Brenda, stop. Please. Sorry. Yeah.
All right. Yes. Hi. It's great to have you here, Brenda. Yes. Welcome to Lunch Therapy.
Thank you so much for having me, Joel. Hi, everybody.
Oh my God. Everybody says hi. Everyone's a comedian. Yeah, I guess everyone's a comedian. That's what they say when you make a bad joke, right? Everyone's a comedian. Genius. It was genius rapping about ADHD. Oh. Tell us, Brenda, how did you come to your existence now? Tell us your origin story. Where did you come from? Yeah. How did you develop into this blossoming flower that you are?
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Hi, Kamala. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. I see.
Kamala.
Kamala. Hi, Kamala. Yeah. Hi. So, dude, my story is crazy. I was smuggled into this country when I was 1 year old. Okay, my mom tossed me over the border from Mexico, and she was like, "Hey, hope I see my daughter again."
Wow. And, you mean you came over here without your parents?
Yeah. My mom handed me over to a coyote and was just like,
"Wow.
Hope I see my daughter again." And my mom was 16 at the time, and then she ran through the desert, swam, went through muddy tunnels. I mean, she did the whole works the next day. And so she was safely delivered as well. My dad was here on a visa, and so I was delivered to my dad. We were both delivered.
Oh
but, I mean, can you imagine that? Like,
no.
That's bananas.
That is bananas. How did you reconcile with your mom then on the other side? You went right to your dad, and then, I don't know, did they find each other, or what happened?
Yeah, the coyote delivered me to my dad, and then the next day the coyote also delivered my mom to my dad. So we went with him. Yeah. And then I was undocumented for most of my life. I lived in 15 different homes. I attended 11 schools. I was raised by teenage parents. You know, my mom was 15 when she had me. My dad was 19. I wasn't diagnosed with ADHD until I was 25. That same year, I became a citizen, a U.S. citizen. Yeah. And then that same year, I launched my company, Sweet Thoughts Travel, which is what I do, where I'm a motivational keynote speaker and a mindfulness coach. So I help people how to meditate, practice breathing techniques. And what I do is I blend in music and comedy to make mindfulness and meditation really fun.
Wow. Do you know so did you feel like you were a little different when you were a kid? Because you were saying that you had ADHD. Was it really hard for you to focus? Do you feel that maybe it's a good thing you didn't find out until later because they might have like given you a whole bunch of drugs and sedated you in school?
Yep. Oh my God. Yes. And I love that you said that because, yeah, when I was a kid, if my teacher was writing something on the board that I deemed boring, mm-hmm. I would be like, man, screw this. A whole new world. And start bursting into song.
Really? Just right there in class?
Just like that. And everyone's like, bah, Brenda. And the teacher would be like, sit down for the 20th time.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was the female Bart Simpson. So
really?
Yeah, I loved it. I just didn't care. I didn't care what my teacher had to say. This was all in elementary school.
Yeah.
And then, but when I became a teenager, all these fun characteristics that I deemed fun, like hyperactivity, impulsive, couldn't ever stop talking, being class clown, started to manifest themselves as anxiety and depression when I was a teenager. And you know, it really sucked because growing up in a household that, you know, my parents had an 8th grade education, you know, it was really hard for me to be like, hey, I don't feel good. I'm sad and depressed. And they would be like, what do you have to be sad and depressed about? We risked our lives for you to get here. We wish we had your life. Mm-hmm. So I had to seek out, you know, mentors and counselors and teachers because I never stopped talking. I mean, I've made a career out of it. So, you know, I had to really, really seek that out. And so then I began therapy when I was 19, professional therapy, because I was having panic attacks. And she introduced me to mindfulness and meditation.
Oh,
but again, it wasn't until years later that I would create my own formula to blend in music and comedy. Because as someone with high energy, you know, and hard to stop talking, it was really hard for me to incorporate that into my.
I think people should know that. Kids should know that. I mean, I don't know. This is something that we'll talk about with you later on in the show, but kids should know that if they feel like they're a little different, that might be some kind of a gift.
Yes.
And also, if they feel like if they're having anxiety attacks, that is something that can be overcome, and it's not as big of a deal as one might think. And you don't have to hide it. You can tell somebody about it and get some help, because there's a lot of great things that can help that. I myself battled with anxiety attacks, and you know, very physical. It's a very physical feeling. It's not just like a mental thing. Your whole body feels it. And there are a lot of different ways for you to mitigate the effects of that, and also use it. Because, you know, the adrenaline rush, the energy that you get, obviously it can be used. And a lot of times that's, you know, not just trying to shut yourself down, but actually try and rocket out of this world, you know, right? Rocket into space.
Yep, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Use it as a launching pad.
Yep, because it's pent up energy, and we need to release it. And sometimes when we don't know how to release it, that's when we get frozen, because we're so overstimulated and we're like, I don't know what to do now. Just do it. I don't know where I heard it, but action is the best reaction to anxiety. Just take action. Just do it. Just get out there. But I mean, it's more complicated than that too.
Well, I think it can be difficult because sometimes people tell you to just calm down. And that's like the last thing that you want, or stop doing that, or you should be grateful. Like you were saying, you should be grateful. You have it much better than we do. You know, that's all a sliding scale, basically, as far as everybody has struggles in life, regardless of how they are perceived by everybody else as having, you know, being given too many gifts or having too much abundance. Like for you, you're a good-looking person. Probably people think you have it easy. You know what I mean? A lot of times people assume that somebody who's good-looking has it super easy.
All
And
the time.
it's not necessarily true. Yeah.
Little do they know that, yeah, sometimes I'll be staring at my wall, wondering why butterflies have their wings. And I'm like, you know, you have like 10 emails to respond to, right?
Yeah.
And my executive dysfunction is like, I don't want to do emails. Let me go play piano. And then I'll go and play piano. Seems like 5 minutes. It's like 2 hours. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a balance though. But the beautiful thing is I have developed wonderful positive coping skills that do allow me to, you know, live and create my dream life. It's not easy, but when you have a purpose that's bigger than yourself, when you're of service to others, when you are striving for your passions, and again, being of service, nothing can stop you.
Can you tell me how you, okay, so you are somebody with a lot of different interests. And you're somebody that you're doing a lot of different things all at once, and you have a lot of creative energy that sometimes can't be organized.
Yeah.
What do you do to organize yourself or funnel your energy so that you're not like completely scattered all over the place?
Oh, that's a great question. I meditate.
You
I
do.
meditate so much, and I got to really know myself. And I got to ask questions about how my brain operates. You know, what is it that makes me focused? What is something that will trigger me? What is something that I know to avoid when I need to be focused? And what's something that can help me like that? And I start to notice when, yes, I start to get to scatterbrain. I'm like, meditation, as soon, like, just dive deep into it.
That must have been impossible for you having ADHD or being diagnosed as that, to sit down and be still. So do you have a different way of meditating?
Now, over the years, I'm able to put on a YouTube video of guided meditation and just go into Narnia. Now I'm so good at it. But yeah, in the past, I had to develop my own formula where I mixed in like a 3-minute meditation followed by, it's called my MX3 formula. I would mix in music right afterwards. I would play my favorite song because what I began to do as a mindfulness coach, I had to study a lot of neuroscience. And so I began to see how the brain works with meditation and also the benefits of music mood, because that's something that always got me really focused. I had to be, and I still do, need music blasting for me to focus.
Yeah.
So
really, you needed music blasting for you to focus. I've heard that before from people. I'm completely the opposite. I needed to shut it down. But that actually would help you? Why would that help you?
Yeah, because surprisingly, it would turn down the noise in here.
Oh, you're
so
out blasting the voice in your head.
Yep.
Wow.
So I would do 3-minute meditations followed by my favorite song. And so after, you know, I listen to my favorite song, my dopamine levels are up. I feel so motivated. I'm like, yay, I got a reward. And then let's go back to meditating because then that's going to calm the brain now that we got our reward. So I'd go back to meditating. And then I'm like, great, we get to listen to our favorite song again. So what I just did is I created this little formula to hack my brain, to hack anyone's brain, to raise dopamine levels, use the benefits of music mood, plus mindfulness and meditation.
You know, my wife, Kamala, who's in the chat room, she mentioned that was how I got the raccoons out of our ceiling in our house, was I put really loud music up there, and then they ran away. It's sort of like what's going on in your head. I think that's hilarious.
Yep.
Chasing them out with AC/DC, right? And Van Halen.
I love that.
Todd says he agrees music is a great distraction from the constant voice in your head. That's so interesting. I never even thought of that. I always think of quiet. But I think that that's probably... Other people use adrenaline rush experiences because it kind of laser focuses you. And sometimes people get themselves in a lot of danger because of it, because they're just trying to shut up those those voices in their head. So you developed a system. Is that what you use in your coaching?
Mm-hmm. That is what I use. Yep.
Wow.
And then I also do, so I love practicing gratitude, and not in the way where people used to be like, oh, just be grateful, just be quiet and be grateful. No. I do definitely teach gratitude, and I explain the neuroscience behind it. I explain why is it that gratitude works and what goes on in your brain and how you're rewiring it and all that stuff. So I teach gratitude exercises. I teach self-compassion exercises.
Tell me about that. Okay, so I saw you on there and you were hugging yourself and you were talking about self-hugs. What does that, is that a real thing?
Oh, yeah. So
really?
Check this out. Give yourself a hug right now. Give yourself a hug.
Gladly.
Everybody watching, give yourselves a hug right now. Like a nice.
Everybody do it.
Everybody hug themselves. Yes. So this is called the self-compassion hug. And I'm going to explain to you what goes on in your brain right now.
Okay.
So right now, you are releasing oxytocin, which is the bonding, cuddling hormone. This is letting your brain know, hey, we're a safe person. I'm happy. This is awesome. Also, I'm rocking back and forth a little bit. I see you rocking back and forth a little bit. Why? I'll explain. Okay. So when we're born, the first thing that happens is we're held. So as we're held, our brain registers that as, oh, this is a safe event. This is a safe person. We are being taken care of. We're nurtured. So as we're hugging ourselves right now, our brain doesn't know the difference. Our brain's like, oh, I remember the first time we were held and we were safe. We were nurtured. So you are creating that experience with yourself.
I feel pretty good. I really do, I must say.
Right?
I feel good, yeah.
I told you, this feels so good. This lowers stress. This lowers anxiety.
It's sort of like the, like my cat has a vest that you put on to make the cat feel more safe. Like if you're going to take him someplace. So, it's sort of like the Temple Grandin. Do you ever hear of Temple Grandin?
No,
this is kind of a weird thing, but the cows, when they were going to slaughter, were afraid. And Temple Grandin was a special person who realized this and designed a special chute for the cows when they were going to put the cows out to make meat. They would put them, and I think probably actually the fear and the adrenaline, it makes it so the meat is not so good, but also just the idea that these poor animals were having this intense fear before they died. She came up with this special chute where they would go through and it would hug them as they go through. Like the walls would get narrower and narrower. And apparently it revolutionized a lot of the cattle industry. But that's a similar thing, like something hugging you, even if it's not a person, still can make you feel good. That's so interesting.
Now.
Yeah.
So good.
I feel good now. So I want to go on with this because you on Instagram put out little videos to help people. And I think it's really a great thing that you're doing. Here's something on being productive.
But I've also in the past have fallen trap to the hamster wheel of quote productivity, where I just need to keep going and 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 going, because if I stop, oh hell to the nah. If I stop, it's as if my entire world collapses. All of a sudden, all these spinning plates I have, which are like 30 spinning plates, are...
All right, so that's really good advice too. Now, this is a really great way to use the medium of social networking to get little bits of information out to people. What do you do when you got all those spinning plates? How do you organize yourself? Do you have some kind of organizational system, or do you do this just on the fly?
So I have a planner that I use religiously, and I was never someone who would use planners whatsoever. I mean, I was like, oh, I'll remember. But no, that was very brave of me to say I'd remember. So my plan is very structured. It has like 7 a.m., 7:30 a.m., 7:45 a.m., and I fill it in. And also I've learned that I am someone who needs to prioritize my creativity. As much as I used to think that it would slow me down from the admin work that I need to do send off the emails. No, my creativity is what fuels me, so playing the piano, singing all the time, that actually gets me focused into now what I really need to do, which is, again, the other admin stuff. Or I shouldn't say really need to do, but
Yeah.
other things to keep balance.
That you have to do too.
Yeah, exercising. I got to go to the gym. I hate exercising. Oh my
You
God.
do?
Hate it.
I love
hate
it.
I
don't
hate
know
it.
why
It
I love
feels
it so
so
much.
good. It
Yeah.
feels so good afterwards. But trying to get me to the gym, oh my God.
Really?
Yes.
I think a lot of people can relate to that. A lot of people can
Yeah,
relate to that.
exactly. But it helps me tremendously. Surrounding myself with really good people, positive people who aren't going to drain me, that helps keep the balance. That helps keep me focused. Just a lot of self-compassion, because I used to be so hard on myself.
Yeah.
So, like, oh, I could keep doing more. I can always keep going, and why am I not doing enough? Yada yada yada. But I mean, it got to the point where I was burning out constantly, and I was like, I can't do this. Like, why is it? Like, I'm running on fumes here. Running on
Yeah.
fumes is not sustainable. So I began to really nurture myself, speak so kindly to myself, hug myself, and all of that has really helped with
Really.
keeping the balance and focus. Yeah.
I think that for me, taking the time to do some kind of thing that is not purposeful sometimes will help me also. And it's really hard for me to do something that I don't have some kind of result that's going to come from it, like taking a walk, or going to the beach, or I like tap dancing, but it doesn't have like a result. And so I think a lot of it, but the result is basically a happier you, which makes you more productive. And so sometimes you have to just go ahead and do that, even if you're in the craziest, busiest day there is. I'm going to play something now. It's you and Brian Holtzman. Now, he's a comedian. You're a comedian. I want to hear more about that. This Brian Holtzman guy is very interesting to me. I think I first saw him on the series they did about the Comedy Store, where all the other comedians were talking about him. And then Chuck Goldsmith and you. But anyway, let's take a look at him and you.
If you put these walls of ego up, then some people, they'll hold on to something that they know is wrong.
Right. And that's where the ego doesn't protect you. That's where the ego hinders you. That's where the ego now closes you off for you to receive the blessings and abundance that you rightfully deserve, because we all do. We are all worthy of abundance, of love, of care, of kindness, compassion, all these things. And oftentimes we don't realize that we are the only people blocking that.
We're the gatekeepers.
We are the gatekeepers.
That is such good advice, because I don't think we realize that we're the gatekeeper sometimes. And it's really hard to understand that. And I know that lately I've been trying to kind of change my mind. This is what I find, that I have these misconceptions in my mind, that I've been living under the tyranny of the misconception. And I have to actually reprogram that misconception in my mind to move forward. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it takes a lot of work, because it's like almost like a habit that you've built up, where you think, and does that happen to you, or do you find yourself reprogramming thoughts that you have?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
It's what I do. It's what I got to do. It's what got me here to where I am. I did not grow up in a household that exhibited these positive coping skills or thought in any way positive at all. I grew up with very unhealthy examples of humans handling any sort of situation, stressful situation, or just anything. And I really had to reprogram myself. And that's the beauty, though, about our brain. You can reprogram yourself. I can, I reprogram myself. Everybody can, due to the brain's neuroplasticity, and being able to create neurogenesis, which is new neurons, just a super fancy way of saying it. But this is how we develop positive new coping skills and reframing everything that happens with us, and living in mindfulness, meditating. It's so much more than just I'm just going to be quiet. Again, it's rewiring your brain. It's how can I say it? It's weakening the connections to the fear centers of your brain while strengthening the bonds to the logical part of your brain, the part of your brain that's responsible for balanced perspective and focus and memories.
You know what's great about it too is you don't even have to think about it. You just have to do it. Like you don't have to figure it out. Like some of these other things, I feel like you have to figure it out. Like, oh, I've been thinking this whole time, and it's actually that. But with meditation, you just sit there. And we had a guy on here, Agyat, who's a meditation expert from India, and he comes up with these different things. Like he'll have people run in place for a long time and then sit down, because then it's easier for people that are, feel it's difficult to sit still. He makes you really tired, so sitting still sounds good. I think that little techniques like that are super important, and people don't know about this stuff unless they either come to it themselves. But it's a lot more helpful if somebody can can tell you, So that's something that I want to say. You've been going to schools, right? Yes. And I'm going to play a little clip here that I found on the internet of you in a school.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you that you are not alone. That you can talk to people about it. People love you. People care for you. I care for you guys. That's why we're here. Tim cares for you guys. Your counselor's here. Your teacher cares for you guys. So don't ever feel like you can't talk to people about it. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Tell me about that. So you're going to school. Like, what was going on there? You're in a school and they've asked you to come speak?
Yes. So I do it with my company, Sweet Thoughts Travel.
Yeah.
Schools come and hire me to go and talk to their kids about motivational stuff and mindfulness coaching and just blend it all together. And also I'm a speaker of NAMI, which is the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Mm-hmm. And so this was a presentation that I did with them for their Ending the Silence program, which is awesome. And
Ending the Silence, that's the program. And what does that mean exactly? Do you know? What are they referring to?
Yes. So it means literally that, ending the silence on the stigma, ending the silence on mental illness, and being able to talk about what we go through. So I love NAMI, and now I've been doing it so much via Zoom. I'll come in and say hi to the kids and do my thing. And I also love doing it on my own, which is where I'm able to now speak for longer, because with NAMI, I can only talk for about 10 minutes. Like that's my limit. But with my company and myself, I can create whatever type of keynote that they want. I've done an hour, I've done 90 minutes, I've done 45 minutes. Pardon me. Sorry, my internet's
It's looking good. It's working.
Okay. So yeah, I'm able to do whatever they want. I recently spoke at a school where they wanted me to do 3 sessions, 3 30-minute sessions, which was amazing. And every school has different topics that they want me to talk about. Sometimes they're like, hey, can we focus more on gratitude? Hey, can you show us more, meditation? Can you teach us more emotional, intelligent building techniques? Can we do more breath work? And it's all tailor-made for them, and I absolutely love it.
I think that also sometimes people just don't even know what's out there. We went and spoke to kids in schools here in Los Angeles a while back, and the one thing that struck me the most is that a lot of the kids didn't realize the possibilities that they had. They really, some of the girls, they thought they only had the option of getting married and raising kids. They didn't realize they had other options, because I don't know, maybe people weren't telling them that around them. Maybe it wasn't the information they were getting. Kamala says, can you tell us about the gratitude response in the brain?
Absolutely. Yes, this is actually one of my favorite things to talk about. So what happens in our brain, all right, neuroscience part of gratitude and why it works. We are combating the negativity bias every time we practice gratitude. Are you guys familiar with the negativity bias?
Tell us.
Amazing. Okay, so our brain is a primitive brain. So back in caveman era, okay, we needed to focus on the negative to stay alive. We needed to. We needed to know where the tigers and the lions were so that we weren't eaten and we could survive the next day, okay? But now there's no tigers or lions outside our front door. We don't need to know where the saber tooth, we don't need to know any of that. But our brain has not caught up with that yet. Our brain is still constantly focusing on the negative to stay safe. And yes, it is important to have a balance of, hey, this is dangerous. Don't put your hand, over the flame or you're going to get burned, that kind of stuff. It's like, yeah, we know to stay away from that. But our brain doesn't need to operate on a constant state of fear and for survival. Like, that's just no longer our reality. So the way we can begin to rewire that and have our brain focus more on the good and the positive going on around us is by practicing gratitude. Because the more that we begin to be thankful for what we have around us, that's what our brain will begin to process as our surroundings, as what is our reality. So there's another thing called autosuggestion. Okay, autosuggestion is a way for you to reprogram your subconscious as well, to begin to adopt new positive behaviors and skills. So every day, I name things all day long that I'm grateful for. Like, thank you so much for my car. Thank you so much for my fridge. Thank you so much for this apartment. The more I begin to express gratitude, the more my brain will go, hey, there's great things going on around us. Okay, so we don't like have to look at all the negative. Oh, okay, so I mean, there's some there, but hey, there's some positive things, and my brain will automatically get a dopamine rush. Wow. It'll get a serotonin boost. It'll, you start to get your neurotransmitters on a better level. You start to feel better. So you are affecting your entire self by practicing gratitude.
That's great. And also you're combating what's going on in the media or what's going on with commercials that are trying to freak you out about your crepey skin or whatever it is. Don't you feel like that?
Yes. Yes. Exactly.
That there's like you've got this constant onslaught of, you should be afraid of this. We just invented this problem for you, and you should be afraid of it. And and that's one of the main ways they sell products is essentially because you have a fear that you have a lack of whatever it is, and you better go out there and get it. So we need to kind of really combat that by maybe not watching so much of it, but also because we can't avoid it, we have to get our own mechanism going in a more positive way, and I think that's a really great way to do it. I'm going to show you something. Oh, go ahead. What'd you say? You don't have a TV?
Nope. I don't have a TV in my home.
Wow, that's impressive.
For that reason.
Yeah, I think that might be a good thing. I'm going to show you some red pandas. This is at the Oregon Zoo. These are some red pandas crunching on treats. This is one thing that I am very grateful for, is the Oregon Zoo and their red pandas. They're there available to you on their channel at any time. And they're cute as all get out. Another thing that I wanted to inform you of before, we're going to have to end the show pretty soon, but is that all animals have a unique desire for one thing. And you know what it is?
What?
It's pumpkins. And because it's Rocktober and we're going to, there's going to be a lot of pumpkins coming around, I thought we'd watch some animals eating pumpkins. This is something that we do on the show as therapy. It's very therapeutic. That's the red panda eating the pumpkin. Yeah, this is something that I have uncovered through my, I guess it's my investigative skills on this show, is that all animals love pumpkins, even elephants. Let's see. Oh, Jay is here from the Crepe Race commercial. She's very jealous of people who don't have TVs. And she loves the red pandas. Yeah, maybe. Oh, look at this. Alligator.
Oh, no.
Turtle.
I'm
just when you think. You're scared of alligators?
I'm so scared.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
Dude, so scared.
Well, there's plenty of other animals to allay your fears. All right, so that's look at that. It's the giraffe.
Oh.
Isn't that cool? Armadillo.
Armadillo!
It's incredible. And of course, Howard Aronin is very excited out there. He's a comedian as well. Maybe you know him. He seems to know everybody. If you don't know him, you better know him because he is the darling of comedy. All right, so now this is just a cat. This is a wonderful cat. Pretty cool. This is by a guy called Taz. All right, so anyway, I just wanted to show you some of the lunch therapy techniques.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, for this is how we do therapy around here. Let me ask you one thing, and that is about your show. Can you tell us about your show and, you know, what process it serves? I don't know what I'm trying to say. Tell us about it.
No, totally. I totally know what you mean. No worries at all. So, Getting Mental is the name of my podcast.
Yes.
Getting Mental with Brenda, Sarai, Zuniga. And it is now on Patreon. Oh my God, I would love it if you guys came and support me. That's going to be the way for me to continue this show because I have editing. I send it off to my producer.
Yeah.
I send it off and it's going to allow me to continue to, you know, create the
Patreon.
clips stuff. Yeah. So the purpose of Getting Mental is I'm bringing mental health education in a really fun and relatable way. You know, mindfulness has completely changed my life. Meditation has changed my life. And as a comic and musician, I mean, what better way? And I have stories for days. I mean,
Yeah.
I just have the craziest stories. And we're all in this together. You know, it's for all of us to come together to feel and to know that we're all a lot more alike than we are different. We're only here for a limited amount of time, you know, and we got to enjoy this ride. We got to be here for one another.
Yeah. So do you bring on primarily comedians or do you bring on therapists and all kinds of different people? What usually goes on over there? I've watched some of them, so I kind of know the answer.
Oh,
Tell me about it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's great.
Thank you. I bring all kinds of people on the show. I mean, obviously, Brian Holtzman I love Brian so much. I was just on his podcast, too. I had my girlfriend, Dr. Allie McLean. She practices Walsh Protocol, which is another way to pack your brain. It's incredible. I've had Jesse Strawham, who is a inspirational figure. I've had.
It's great. So it's on the YouTube channel, and go there to Brenda Sarai Zuniga. Her name is right there. Go over there and please subscribe. And then also, you know, there's a Patreon link, probably there, if not on your website. Please, support this kind of stuff. We need to support more of this kind of positive media because there's so much negative, scary media out there. We need to support each other in this kind of thing. So please do that. I want to talk to you one more thing about your comedy. How did you get into comedy? How did this suddenly come about as well? Or have you been doing it for a long time because you were a class clown?
You know, I never thought I would be a professional comedian. I never thought that. I remember, a few years ago, I went to the Comedy Store and I have a friend who performs comedy there. And I remember I went to go see him, said hi, and he was going through an anxiety attack, and I knew how to deal with anxiety attacks. I'm like, hey, let me show you some breathing techniques. And as I showed him breathing techniques, he's like, oh my gosh, how can I, be of service to you? I'm like, dude, nothing. Just continue to be my friend. We're good. And he's like, no. He's like, you're a comic. I'm like, what? And I was like, no, wait. He goes, no, and he's been in the industry for a long time. He goes, no, you're going to come here and you're going to do podcasts with me. And I'm going to take you under my wing and you're going to be a comedian. I was like, what? And I kid you not, it was him taking me under his wing.
Wow.
That just sparked in me. I'm like, oh, so this is what I'm good at. This is what I love doing. I love making people laugh. I love entertaining. Mm-hmm. And he just got the ball rolling for that.
Wow. And so are you still doing podcasts with them or over there at the Comedy Store?
No, ever since COVID,
it's just kind of closed down, huh?
Because I was doing it at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's how I know Holtzman, because I was there like
Yeah.
4 times a week. Gosh, I love my Comedy Store family. But yeah, ever since COVID shut down, that's when I created Getting Mental. And I mean it. I was like, well, I'm a mindfulness coach. I know all these positive coping skills. You know, I gotta make this
It's
fun.
needed right now. I mean, obviously it was needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you
exactly.
got it out there. That's cool. All right, we're going to do dance break now. We're going to dance this thing out of here. I've got a really nice rendition of Black Sabbath's Iron Man. It's going to be surprising, though. It's not quite what you
Amazing.
expect.
Oh,
Not quite what you
before we
expect.
go-
Yes. Oh, please.
Before we go, can I just say this year I released my debut
Oh, yeah.
special.
Tell us about it. Yeah.
So stoked. It's called Getting Mental on the live stream, and you guys can watch it as well on my Patreon. If you go to my Instagram at official Brenda Z, you guys just click on my link in bio, and it's right there. It says watch my comedy musical. And I wrote it all. I composed all of the songs. I wrote the lyrics. I manned the form. And you're going to learn really fun, positive coping skills as you're singing and having fun, all on my mental health journey. So check
Is that
out,
it?
guys.
Official Brenda Z?
Yep,
That's your
that's
Instagram,
my-
and that's where we can find out about this show? That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? I didn't do a very good job of closing up as far as, like, do you have anything else to promote?
No, you're amazing, Joel. I appreciate you so
All right,
much,
thanks. Thanks so much for being on the show. Now all we do is we listen to this beautiful music and we dance, and that'll be the end of the show. And we'll see you soon.
Has he lost his mind? Can he see or is he blind? Can he walk at all? Or if he moves, will he fall? Is he alive or dead? Has he thoughts within his head? We'll just pass him there. Why should we even care? Nobody wants him, he just stares at the world, planning his vengeance that he will soon unfurl.
A totally different rendition of Iron Man. It's good, though.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it.
Was turned to steel in the great magnetic field when he traveled time by the future of mankind. Now the time is here for Iron Man to spread fear, vengeance from the grave, killing the people he once saved. Nobody wants him, they just turn their heads.
Twitchers are on.
Nobody helps him now.
Great
He
dancing,
has
yes.
his revenge.
All right, we'll see you all on Friday.